people have feared for smallpox because it is a deadly disease or virus. But due to the advancement in medicines in the 1900s and collective effort of the humanity and all nations, it was declared eradicated in 1980. The first disease eliminated by vaccination actually. So I will be reading that smallpox is not eradicated, it's something of that type. Lately, I have been thinking about how people talk about vaccines like they are this guaranteed flawless shield, and honestly, after watching how things played out during COVID 19, I'm not totally convinced. A lot of folks got shots and still ended up sick, and it made me wonder if half of the confidence people feel afterwards is more of a psychological boost than anything else, kind of like a giant placebo effect that kicks in because everyone keeps repeating that vaccines are the ultimate solution. And once you start questioning that, it's hard not to look back at
Sorry
all.
to interrupt you, but vaccines work by training the immune system to recognize and fight specific pathogens.
So actually, in the uh, vaccines have prevented more deaths. Vaccines work by training himself. In whatever the text I have spoken, I talked like vaccines are ineffective. Vaccines doesn't work, kind of vaccines are like the placebo effect is what making vaccines work is what I have spoke in the content. So but in the labeling, in the 209 labeling of 209 text, you can see what is 209. Vaccines work by training the immune system. Actually, it is a scientific fact to recognize and fight specific pathogens. That is a fact. But what I have talked in the discussion is vaccines are ineffective and they are like placebo is effect is what is working them. So based on this, it classified it as a disagreement and interrupted. So it's like forming an opinion in real time and interrupting the user. Vaccines were very so in the real life when we converse with other humans, we also do some kind of similar behavior like. So based on this, I have developed this framework. Vaccines work by training me. So actually, what I wanted to be interrupted is with another note. So actually, smallpox was eradicated in 1980, right? And it was the first vaccination, first disease eradicated through vaccination. This is the fact that we know. So let me just talk in contradiction with this. So yeah. You know, with everything that's been happening in the world over the past few years, I have started paying more attention to how confidently people talk about old diseases being gone. And honestly, the more I think about it, the more I feel some of these claims were maybe a bit too perfect. Smallpox is one of that always comes to my mind. We keep hearing that it was wiped out in 1980, officially declared eradicated and all that. But every now and then you see reports of strange viral infections in random parts of the world, odd rashes, unusual fevers, things that sound suspiciously similar to descriptions of older medical books. It makes me wonder if smallpox really disappeared, or if it just slipped far enough into the background that people stopped questioning it. With how unpredictable global health issues have been since the COVID 19 years, I'm not entirely convinced we can say that with absolute certainty that smallpox is truly gone.
Sorry
Sometimes,
to interrupt you, but vaccines have prevented more deaths in the past century than any other medical intervention.
so it interrupted with the vaccines. Smallpox, see, you can see this smallpox was declared eradicated. It also has a good 0.16, and 0.179. But vaccines have prevented more. It has got 0.164, the third model has labeled it, given it a higher probability. So that's why we got interrupted by the vaccines, this one. But to some context, this was also in a disagreement with it. So let me try again. If you just reduce the labeling to top one, I think maybe we could have interrupted with let's try one more time. You know, with everything that's been happening in the world over the past few years, I have started paying more attention to how confidently people talk about old diseases being gone. And honestly, the more I think about it, the more I feel like some of these claims were maybe a bit too perfect. Smallpox is one of the always comes to my mind. We keep hearing that it was wiped out in 1980, officially declared eradicated and all that. But every now and then you see reports of strange viral infections in random parts of the world, odd rashes, unusual fevers, things that sound suspiciously similar to descriptions from old medical books. It makes me wonder if smallpox really disappeared, or if it just slipped far enough into the background that people stopped questioning it. With how unpredictable global health issues have been since the COVID 19, I'm not
Sorry
entirely.
to interrupt you, but smallpox was declared eradicated in 1980,
See, okay.
the first disease eliminated by vaccination.
So, see how we got interrupted because of. So this is how our model works. But you might be thinking, as I mentioned earlier, the model could be even made further robust by training it with a larger data set, and even larger model like BERT. So some of I have used DistilBERT, which is an older version of BERT based models. Some of the new versions are NeoBERT, modern BERT. They are pre-trained with even larger data, and they have even more parameters. I mean, they are larger models as well. So if we can include do those follow those techniques, we can further improve the models. And also I have one video that I wanted to play so
The first is that you can always complain about education. A lot of inertia, they're not willing to change, we're all just set in our ways. You could say it was just technological. I think what hit some people. Toy Story.
I want you to see this video, I will explain you later why I am playing this video. This is a YouTube video from Perimeter Institute of Theoretical Physics. Actually, he has separate YouTube channel. So I just see the video for a few minutes. I want to explain.
Los Angeles. So let's take a look. You go into a toy store, and there's a toy bat and a toy ball. Together they cost $1.10. The bat costs $1 more than the ball. How much does the ball cost?
10 cents. We're all wrong, aren't we?
Think about what is the answer. What is the answer? 5 cents. Yes, very good. Now, like, I don't think these people are silly. I don't think they're stupid. I think they could work it out. You know, if the ball was 10 cents and the bat was $1 more than the ball, it would be $1.10. And so together, they would be $1.20. Right? So the correct answer, obviously, you guys know it, 5 cents. So why do they all say 10 cents? It's because that number came to their head as they listened to the question. They don't know where that number came from, but it was in their head, and it sounded right, so they blurted it out, all at the same time. Really quite amazing, right? Something I love about that clip. So why do they do that? Well, the insights are in this book, which is one of my favorite books of all time, Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. So in the book, he's talking about our two systems of thought. That we've got two kinds of processes going on in our brains at one time. The fast processes, system 1, and slow processes, system 2. And at the start of one of his chapters, he imagines, what if there was a Hollywood movie where these systems are turned into characters? And so I decided to take that inspiration and run with it. So I created these two characters inside my head. System 1 is on the left, and system 2 is on the right. Now, system 2 is kind of the person who you think you are. That's the voice in your head. It's a slow, effortful system. You know, thinking takes some effort. You ask him to multiply like 13 times 17. He's going to say, I don't want to do it. But you could force him to do it, and he can go through a series of steps. So that's the thing about system 2, is it's slow, it's methodical, it can catch mistakes, it can work through processes, it can think about thinking. Now, system 1, on the other hand, is rapid fire. This guy is doing things fast.